Hello, my name is Oliver from buynewmusic.com, your music blog about progressive rock and metal. Joining me right now is Diana Studenberg from alternative prog band Trope.
We actually just played a show on Sunday for Rebel Fest that Projector Plus organized here. They're a publicity company out here, and yeah, it was awesome. It's just so nice to get to play again. Yeah, I mean, we've got some other shows planned throughout August, and some other ones that we're currently looking at, like just locking in. And then yeah, that's so they're going to be as well in Bulgaria, and then we're just figuring out our next move, so to speak. We've got a few potential tours in the works and stuff, and just back and forthing with our managers. And no, it's just Moonhead and I, the guitar player, and myself. Travel is, as you know, a little bit tricky right now. So yeah, we're definitely hoping for the, for the tours and stuff. We'll get the guys out, and yeah. Actually, Moonhead chose the title. I didn't know what the word meant either. I was like,
Okay.
what? And I think it just really played well with the, like, all the themes of the songs, all the lyrics. And I mean, there's such a recurring theme, and what does freedom mean? I think there can be many things. I mean, for me, big part of freedom is awareness, like self-awareness. I think that just creates more space within you to kind of come from a place that's more centered, and therefore kind of freer in that sense, So so a lot of the songs like grapple with different concepts surrounding that. No, because we wrote we wrote it before, so it didn't. I mean, maybe it was a foreshadowing of things to come. No, I think just living in the world, you kind of just like I have kind of just seen the different cages that people have built around themselves, or that I have anyways, like just within you. We kind of do it to ourselves in a sense, just not intentionally necessarily, but through just listening, to limitations or things that you can't or can't do, or should or shouldn't do, or who you should or shouldn't be. So these things, create these like weird, like, and it's not like involuntary, but it can be if you're not looking at these things, and all of a sudden they seep into your belief system, and you're like, and you build and you allow those walls to just stay there. So it's just, it was kind of explorational based on personal experiences, and just how do you create a little bit more space for yourself. To be honest, like Chris Perrin, the designer, he's like an animation director, and he designed the cover, and it was actually his idea. So he hadn't seen the Pink Floyd cover at first, but like it was his idea to, like, with the pigs like kind of flying away from like the slaughterhouse towards freedom, you know what I mean? And then the closer they get to I guess camera or whatever, the clearer and more defined they get. So the further they get away from their like kind of enslavement, the more they come into focus. It was the kind of idea. And yeah, like, I mean, we'd sent him some visual references after like he came up with that idea, and we loved, like, I mean, Storm, there is no, sorry, I keep messing up his name, Storm Thurston, who designed a lot of Pink Floyd covers and stuff, right. and a lot of different covers, Dream Theater as well. Just, he's just amazing. Like we did look for inspiration from him as well as other artists and stuff. So we love Tool. I mean, like some of their songs like that we know are masterpieces. Like they're crafted and they're incredible. But we actually haven't heard that much Tool. And Dave's heard less Tool than I have. He's like, he kind of only knows like their famous songs that he's heard maybe on the radio and stuff. And so, I mean, for him, this style of music is just very natural, and it comes out, and sure, like things that you listen to maybe like 10, 15 years ago, maybe like seep into your psyche, and then you get inspired by them. But he doesn't like go and like be like, okay, like I'm just gonna listen to Tool now and then write a riff. Like he never did that. You know what I mean? So it's like, and yeah, when I'm writing melodies, I'm like, like I wonder what Maynard did, you know, like I mean, I love what they do. They're incredible, but we're not like just sitting and dissecting. No. We're actually trying to make something that we just love and that inspires us and comes from like a really, really, really kind of just deep place, you know, or whatever. They're big influences, I think for me lyrically, I think I mean, musically, they're just incredible songwriters. Like they're so amazing. And Moonhead had that song for a while. He'd had the original stems and he was working on some remixes. And at first we didn't know we were going to use it in Trope. And then like, as we continue to work on it, like the instruments started paring down from electronic to more organic to rock. And then all of a sudden it took this direction where we're like, wait a minute, this could totally work. And it was so great because I love that song and I love what I feel it stands for and how like you can be listening to the lyrics and just interpret anything that you think it is. It's just really just so, the way they write is like beautiful. It's so inspiring. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is I used to I was like a diehard Dream Theater fan when I was young, like in my teenage years and stuff, and I haven't actually listened to them in a while. Which maybe at some point I'll see them in concert again. But recently, like when we were working on the album, actually I was just cycling between Jeff Buckley and Nina Simone, just listening to them over and over and over and over and over again, like ad nauseum. And so those two were what I was listening to when we were just working on the album. But I also love so many bands. Like I love, I'm a big Pearl Jam fan. I love them. I think they're great. I like Soundgarden. Oh my gosh, now that I'm trying to think of it, it's hard. Radiohead. Moonhead's a big fan of Peter Gabriel. Well, with Mike, we emailed him, and we at the time, so like Moonhead was producing all the you know the demos and stuff, and we sent the stuff to Mike. And then had a meeting with him. He'd listened to them. He really liked it. He liked that he didn't know where things were going, and it was really cool. Like when his manager at the time was like, you know, he usually doesn't listen to like necessarily like something all the way through all the time, you know, because when you're getting a lot of music, it's hard to just. And he listened to like the whole thing from the beginning to end, you know, and that was really cool. Like he seemed to just really, really dig the music. And it was something different than what he usually does, I think, which is more kind of classic rock. And so that was really, really just a really cool experience. Like his attention to detail and the way he hears frequency and details is like insane. And then same thing with Batra, like we emailed him and said, hey, like, do you want to mix this thing? Here are the songs, you know. He also creatively consulted on the project. We sent him the demos beforehand and we're like, got any things that you suggest or arrangement wise, part wise, whatever, you know. And then Ted Jensen mastered the album and it was very similar. We just emailed him and said, we've got these guys on board. He mixed it, he produced it. Do you want to master it? We'd be like honored. And so the team kind of came together this way, you know, just by sending the stuff. And I mean, yeah, the first album kind of was that way. I mean, we do want it. We are really inspired to make the second album more progressive and take things for walks and stuff. But we want to do different things, like maybe with more backing vocals or like some ethereal moments, or, you know, like I speak some different languages, and also like I've grew up listening to some like Aramaic and Hebrew prayers and stuff, like when I was younger. Like my mom sometimes would play like Arabic music when I was like could come home, or like it's such a mishmash of inspiration. So we might want to like include some. Oh yeah, I mean Divine Astronaut is very like we do wear our influences on our sleeves a little bit in that project for now anyways. But yeah, it was just like an opportunity for us to kind of explore and do something different, and like where Trope is like very crafted and it's like takes like a million tries like to get something, you know, going. It just takes a long time. Like Divine Astronaut is a nice kind of like creative outlet where you can just, you know, where we're able to just explore different kinds of ideas and different vibes, you know. It's very like exploratory, which I'm excited about getting more exploratory with it, you know, like in the next cycle of songs or next album, actually. Yeah, well, actually, the funny thing is we had a music visa in Los Angeles. But yeah, I mean, I'm currently, yeah, just auditioning, and I've got some representation in Vancouver, some acting representation, and I just love it. It's just, it is a passion, totally. Like it's just, I mean, performance in general, whether it's like music or acting, and obviously music is different. It's like, it's super personal and everything, but it still gives you that feeling of being in the moment, and everything just washes away, and you're just like, all you can do is focus like on what's in front of you, you know? And that just takes away like anxiety and all the like the stress, you know, that and all the stuff that you fill your head with, you know, that it's sometimes like you just, you know, it just really helps to have all that wash away. So it's a similar kind of yeah, the love comes from a similar place, you know, in that sense. Yeah. The music is stuff that it's ours, you know, it's different. It's like they're totally different things, right? Like I think with the music, it's like it's like your baby in a sense, you know what I mean? You give birth to it, and then it belongs in the world, and it's free, you know, it's not yours anymore. But like it's different, you know, like it is coming from like a different place for me anyways. Than with the acting, where sometimes like you might be writing the script, or you likely aren't, you know, necessarily you're delivering someone else's word and trying to personalize it, but like, yeah, it's very different. Yeah. Well, and what's crazy is like with the album release and everything, we found that like it's been reaching like quite a nice like audience in you know, people from Germany seem to be responding well to the music and everything. And I mean, we really want to tour there, where I mean, even, yeah, it just, I think it would be amazing. Like, and yeah, I think it would just be awesome. The first of 3 shoots was awesome.
Okay.
We posted a bit of like, just a little bit of the footage. The second shoot is happening next weekend in Los Angeles. So our bass player is shooting his footage. And then the third shoot is going to happen here in Bulgaria, where Moonhead, our guitarist, is going to be shooting his footage, and then it's all going to be glued together. We're supposed to be here, wanted to be here for a couple of months, but I think we might actually now be here until the end of August.